Hey, Ben, if you do a reverse camera, can you see her?
And bumps and bruises. I'm cruising through these haters, leave them looking stupid. They foolish if they think they'll ever hear my conclusion. I'm through with all these promises and their excuses. I'm bruising eagles left and right every time I do this. I'm shooting for the top, no, I'll never settle what you did. The future's in my hands, my grip will never lose it. My crew is ready to obtain the absolution, removing any doubt that we were ever fooling. Come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution. Come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come
This is how it's going today. Tidewater Horror Convention, day 3 here in Norfolk, Virginia, at the Wyndham Garden Hotel. Thanks, Ben, for the intro. You're live.
Yeah. We are.
I apologize. I just realized I was muted. I did a whole intro and everything. What the heck?
Legendary puppeteer, Diamond.
Are you paying those people?
Yeah, it cost me $50 to get them in here.
Really? Just give me a drink. It would have been fine.
But it is the final day of Tidewater. It is early. It's actually not early, but like nobody's awake. Nobody, except for you, Bill.
I'm always awake.
Right?
Pretty much.
It's last day, day 3. We close at 5 today, so make sure you get down here.
Yes, hold on. We had to do our promo for the con so they don't fire us. There is free parking. Tickets are still available at the door. And if you hurry now, you can get photo ops with Bill Diamond and Audrey too, and ET. ET's here.
Yep, ET's here. We made sure he didn't phone home yet.
No. All of them. They're all here. Come down, hang out all day. Tickets at the door, free parking, food trucks. They run out of food fast, so get here early. And there's a bar. Yeah, it's not open though, so
You gotta wait. You gotta wait till it opens.
Real quick before we get started, I do just want to say today is September 11th.
Oh yes.
So let's give props to our veterans and our first responders for everything they do,
And you know what
especially today. Right.
You know what I haven't done the whole weekend at any of our panels?
What, talking to the microphone?
That's Jeff. He's from the Toking with guys. I'm with the Dorkening. We have not introduced ourselves.
Introduced?
Introduced.
I'm on third day. It's
Have you introduced yourself already? That's why you're introducing. Okay, go ahead.
Well, does introducing also mean turning on your microphone?
It all begins today, folks. And we'll start from the top. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Tidewater Horror Convention. And Bill, first I gotta know, you're a puppeteer. You actually do something that I find quite intriguing and fun and just all around amazing. The how and the why. How did you fall into it and why?
Well, first of all, there was a big hole that I fell in. No. I supposed to see you with me and why? Because the hole was there.
Yeah, that
Anyway.
works.
No, actually, my background was television production, stuff like that, and I loved it. And of course, as a illustrator, I love creating characters. So when I started this, and I was about 14, 15, I decided, and I started at
That was a
Diamond
long
Studios.
time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, I liked you once. And I
They
loved.
told me to do
Yeah, I
this.
know they did. Yeah. I'll get them later. I loved, anything to do with animation, puppetry. So the first thing I actually worked on as far as puppets was I created a stop motion animation film, which I won an award from New York State Animation 15. And
Which automatically that's got to validate you.
yeah, that was really neat, but it took forever to make. And I got to know Ray Harryhausen later on, the infamous, stop motion animated film from Sinbad movies and Eye of the Tiger and all kinds of stuff. And he did. And it just took so long because you're moving all these, taking a shot, move all these. And it just took forever. It's a great process. I love it. We still do it a little bit, but I wanted something instantaneous. So, of course, growing up with Henson and knowing puppets, we started making our own, and that's what led to it.
So what was the first puppet you actually made?
Actually, the first puppet I made was a cricket named Roscoe the Cricket.
Why a cricket? Because it's little.
Yeah, well, because I knew if we weren't putting sounds to it, you would hear cricket, cricket, cricket from the audience.
Did it have a voice? Was there a voice to cricket?
Yes.
Did
it
you do
was.
the voice?
No.
No.
No. I had a cousin do the voice
Oh, nice.
just for the fun of it.
You do some voices though.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do a number of the characters I do for Monster TV or any other ones, Dr. Rock's Dinosaur Adventure. I do a lot of those voices.
What's been the most difficult puppet build?
Well, they all have their different challenges. Of course, the larger the characters get, like the
Audrey.
T-Rex or Audrey, or any of them that are beyond the standard size and they get to be about 10, 20, 30, 40 feet long. Those are the ones that are challenging because they're so big and so massive to move.
What's your largest from your own mind creation?
I have a T-Rex that's over 25 feet long.
Damn.
That it takes one.
What's the
puppeteer to
name?
Strike. He's from the Dr. Rock's Dinosaur Adventure. Boys have seen him. We've had him out many, many times.
Is he going to make a token appearance?
Maybe.
That would
I
be
mean,
kind of cool to see him come out of nowhere. And use
There
something.
no dinosaurs
written into that story,
Oh,
nor will there
uh,
ever be. Just like
It's
his
about
boat.
medical marijuana and zombies. I'm sure somebody could have a dream and a dinosaur comes in and
Well,
eats them.
as
Negative.
Ben becomes very prehistoric, maybe.
Ben's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's my
I knew
next
you would like the
question.
old fossil.
Right? My next question:
Yeah.
how do you work with these two, and how did they prove they were worth your time?
Did
'Cause
you
Bill-
actually tell me the bar was still closed?
No, it's not. It's open to
Okay,
actually.
that's how
10
I
a.m.
work with these two.
10 a.m. How did they actually prove their worth? Like to actually, because you're not just going to take geeks off the street and be like, yeah, let's do this, let's run with this.
Well,
How long did it take them to actually be like, hey, we're worthy of Bill Diamond?
Well, it was funny when we started hanging out together. I loved what they were doing, and they were like they are now, very determined to get their ideas and their products and their stories out, which that's their strength. And I was intrigued with that. So that was good. The at that time, but they were so new to
Oh,
what they
yeah.
were doing. So realistically, I think we got involved by doing the. I was also testing the market for cannabis for characters and creatures, and we had these ziffits, so we put them in the comic book, which I loved, and that's how it all started developing. And they weren't ready right away. It just
Yeah.
really had to get now the podcast and the books and the
Cartoon,
TV, the
anime.
cartoon, the TV show. Well, Ben's been a cartoon for years.
Well, yeah.
And then
Well, just a character.
Well, you
yeah.
get to sit next to Ray Liotta.
Keep
Ray
it up.
Liotta.
Keep it up. Yeah, you guys
So-
keep it up. I'm the casting director too.
Yeah, we saw that. What did you cast?
Oh, he got credit.
Did you use cement or plaster?
Hey, I
Yeah.
got an IMDb now because of these guys. I was just like, look at me making it in the
Well,
world.
there you go. So it was a process, and when they first asked me, I said nope. And then they asked me, could we do a trailer with you? No, not ready. I love Jeff. Ben I had to work with.
Well, Jeff
so-
Kleider, it makes more sense.
And so, well, that's because I could drink with him. And then, I process it, but they've come such a long way, and everything they do is great.
Now, you guys are sets doing on the Toking Dead. Those things are all you guys build those in the studios. What's the process going through to set up each scene and stuff?
Well, it's like any other film. I mean, what's nice is that in the comic book, the ideas are there, so we tend to work off them. Okay, and what backgrounds do we need? What where does this place exist?
So
and
you already
things
have
like
a
that.
storyboard.
Well, we have, yeah,
together.
and that's the nice thing about it. It's kind of there. And when you go to television, you kind of got to rewrite it,
Oh yeah.
and look at it and say, how's these scenes going to work? Because again, the comic book is a storyboard. The spaces, and then you've got to fill in all the gaps. So that helps, and then they go into the shop and we build whatever, or we already have it and redress it and that type of thing. Because our studio has a number of different sets from different TV shows. It's over 65,000 square feet.
It's huge.
And we have 10 acres there, so we can shoot outside
And
on
it's
our
not
own
your-
lot.
It's
So-
not your first studio either.
no,
You
it's number
dealt with
4.
Number 4.
Number
thought-
4.
I know 2 of them went down in flames.
Well,
How-
no, one went down in flames. The other one went on fire. That's not that we were the buildings were connected. It was
Ah.
another building that carried over, but we all got evacuated because they thought it would hit where
Yeah.
we were. Yeah. But the first one went down. The first one was a smaller one that was in Peekskill, New York. And we were there for only a couple of years with a puppet shop
Yeah.
and a little small studio. And then we moved pretty much up the street to a larger space that was in an old Masonic temple that the town had.
Nothing defeated you though.
No,
You were
and
like-
then the fire happened. We were there for about 18 years. We were there from 86 to 2000, and the fire happened. And that all had to do, of course, it was a city-owned building, and we upgraded the electric in the building on our side, but they didn't do it on their side. And that's what took the old Masonic out. And it actually was around this time. It was actually in January, very cold night, and it burned. And I was being interviewed about 1 o'clock in the morning, and you could see the puppets burning in the
Oh,
puppet
man.
up in the shop, and standing at the gate. I mean, every fire truck known. And
Yeah,
so
you
I had
lost
this
a lot of
interviewer
original.
said to me, "What do you think they're thinking?" I said, "This is my way of firing everybody."
You're all out of here. That's
Bye.
it.
And then we had touring show. We were doing Dr. Rock's Dinosaur Adventure for Fox in Rochester. We were shooting there, so that show didn't get destroyed. And a number of other characters, because of our touring shows that are older, were in another warehouse. So that's what saved those originals. But we lost 250 characters.
Have you
And-
rebuilt any of those?
What's the thought on hours of work lost too with that 250 puppets.
I think we built a couple, but not all of them.
Okay.
A lot of characters that
Yeah, you're done.
yeah, it was
we
like,
want-
okay, you know, only ones that we
Ashes
had
to
to.
ashes.
And then we were on tour because at that time we were doing a lot of state fairs, county fairs were having us there and signing. They were big things, and malls were big at that point. So we were doing live shows. So we had touring shows. We had 4 Dr. Rocks going
Before
out.
the internet.
Yeah, 4 Dr. Rocks, and they could watch Dr. Rock on Saturday morning, and they would all come out and see the live show. So we went right back out on the road, and then said, okay, a year later we'll start. And we built another studio, and then we moved out of that one, and now it's this bigger one, which is the final stop because we love the place so much.
Nice. If anybody does have questions, please, you are more than welcome to ask about all the puppets. Because right now, I'm gonna just go through my stuff and what I want to know. I don't really care what you guys want to know.
We do have an internet question. Scott Snell is
Yes,
asking when
Dog, by the way, people. Hello, dog.
the voice of dog. Scott Snell is asking, when are we shooting episode 5?
Hey,
Wow.
hi, Scott.
Hey, this is not a business meeting.
Scott is a wonderful DP, great camera guy, great drone operator. He's
Can we, for the layman people like me, what's a DP?
DP.
Yeah,
Not my terminology.
not my term of DP, I'm
DP
sure.
doing what he wants.
Oh, okay, that's much better.
But technically, it's director of photography.
Oh, okay, that sounds a lot
So,
better than what I
but Scott
thought it was.
also
When are
said,
we shooting 5? That's up to him and him. So Scott, we're
Well,
working them,
we'll talk about that
shaking
later,
them
Scott.
down.
So he also said, hope you guys are having fun.
We're having a great time.
So, in my mind, you've worked with some really cool people. The voice of Salacious Crumb, Mark Dodson.
Yeah.
You've hung with Jim Henson. You've hung with some really insanely
Titans.
like who does Bill Diamond dork out about? Like, what makes you go like, oh my god, can you believe I'm like this guy right here?
Yeah, when he met us.
Oh yeah, right.
And I tried to get out of the room as fast as I could, but they stopped me at the bar and I couldn't resist. So, you know, being around Jim was really a magical moment. I knew Johnny Henson really well. We were good buddies, and his father was, you know, usually all over the place. But when you did get that time with him, it was just, you know, listening or whatever he was working on. He loved listening to everyone else. You know,
What he did was magical.
oh, absolutely. It was funny.
What you guys all do is magical. Like, I'm a 90s kid that was born in the 70s. The stop motion, puppets, that was my childhood. Like, I still love watching the Muppets when they come out with movies and stuff like that. Like with my kids, I still go back and watch the old Muppets, all the puppeteering and stuff. That stuff is magical. Like, it's
Oh yeah, I
your
mean, Jim
imagination
changed the course of puppetry. It wasn't something he invented.
No.
But what he did was he found a really great way of using this new technology for his time, which was television, because that's what he was pretty much a pioneer in the beginning of TV and how characters were going to work on television. So that was his magic, to bring all these stories. That's what he really liked telling, was a storyteller. And it was funny because I remember we were having dinner one night and I showed him Moonshins, which is a new series, but an old series because I did it in the 80s.
On the moon. There's moon cows, people.
That's right.
Moon cows.
And
Yeah, I did my research.
he really, really, really liked it. And but the time wasn't ready for it. We did it as a live show. We did it as cable was there. We did a number of cable versions of it, but we really were waiting for something that, and when the internet started coming in and whatever, we felt, all right, this is a good time, because that's how you connect Earth to the moon back then, you know, because they received everything on their antennas and stuff. So it really had to wait like 30 years so that we could do it, because we felt that the content and the story wasn't there. Jim liked them, and he wrote me a really nice letter. Unfortunately, was in the fire, and you know, it was a number of things that we had lost that Jim had signed and supported. But he was very, very supportive of what anyone did outside of his world too.
All right. Since we are at a horror convention, I have to do a few horror questions.
Mm-hmm.
What's the scariest horror character to you?
Probably Jeff.
The Ray Liotta.
Not Ben. I was going to say Ben, but I picked on him a lot.
Imagine that facing you in a dark alley. Wow.
Actually, my horror was always a heavy kind. I was a classic movie watcher because I grew up in the late early 60s and 70s, and I got to know what we call Uncle Forey, who was the head of Famous Monster magazine. And through that, I got to know all the families, Sarah Karloff, Bela Lugosi Jr., Ron Chaney, Victoria Price, which we work with. So horror was always a big part of it. And I did makeup, but we kind of did everything back then and designed new things. So it was always the core of what I did outside of what we call the cute and fluffy creatures. The horror was a very big thing, and that's where Monster TV came from, because we wanted to salute to all what Famous Monsters did and to all the horror stars that we got to know and hang out with as well. And so Monster TV is a way of showing all the projects that we do, like Toking with the Dead and anything to do in the horror realm. And they get to watch all the characters that they love now in this new monster realm, which I started. It's about 22 years old now, because I started it with Sarah Karloff, Boris Karloff's daughter. And Boris was the first character that we were going to build for this new series. And so her and I got together, and she was really wrapped around bringing her dad to life in this new form of puppetry.
Really cool. That's amazing. Ever think of putting together an entire puppet slasher film, or series?
I think it would be cutting edge. Yes.
I think
That would be pretty cool.
I would be really into that. Like myself, I'm a huge dork, and stuff like that would, like, a little comedy added in, and like,
yeah, okay.
I think
write
that
it,
would be
come to me, pitch it, and we'll see if we do it.
Oh, there we go. I have ideas, but like.
Yep. Well, I already mentioned
cannibalism.
the name is called the Nibbler.
The Nibbler.
The Nibbler.
The Nibbler.
I have a great cannibalism idea. If anybody wants to hear it later, it's not for this, but
okay. Anybody out there have any questions?
please.
No questions?
Nobody.
Well, the way I got involved with the Labyrinth was through a gentleman named Michael Motion, and Johnny Henson, of course. And Michael was doing a series of, he's the juggler that actually did all the work for Bowie. You know, it really wasn't Bowie doing that. And it wasn't CGI. That was Michael behind Bowie. And all that was really Michael doing it. None of it was CG. So we did a thing in 1980, which was an event for a great artist named John Kahn, and Johnny Henson they had a circus event raising money, and Jim walked in and saw this juggler, and we were filming it. Johnny and I were filming the whole thing, and he really loved this whole creative motion. And that was about 6 years before Labyrinth was thought of, but Jim was known to write down a lot of his ideas and think of different stories. He was so far ahead of himself. And he saw Michael, and he came to me and Johnny and said, videotape him. Let me have that. Do a number of other tests, because we have some ideas. And then, so that was my involvement with Labyrinth, was through Michael. And then when Bowie came into the room to, set up for this, it was magical to see Michael try to work behind him because Michael was blind. There's no monitor, and he was that's his hands juggling all that. So that's really was my involvement in anything to do with Labyrinth was through all the Bowie.
You just
So.
ruined. I thought that was Bowie the whole time.
Sorry.
I thought he was a master. Even he had his little codpiece and wonderful juggler.
What was the most interesting and most inspirational thing or situation you were experienced with Jim Henson?
Well, there were two people. Jim was one, but I knew Carol. Carol, did Big Bird and Oscar, and I got to know Carol for about 40 years. And being on Sesame Street when I was down there, just watching Carol work was incredible, and of course, watching Jim work was incredible. So it was all of that. I mean, we really didn't think about it back at that time because you were so caught up in whatever was going on. You spent small parts of what you were doing at that time. I was doing so many different things, but I would go one day here, one day there, and it's just like being here at a con or working with the guys. You're just so involved that you don't think about it till years later, of when people start asking you. Anyone else?
No.
Oh, I can't tell you that.
That's like saying who's your favorite kid.
Oh, that I could tell you.
That, I mean, they change from time to time, but
he doesn't want to upset the rest of the
Now
public.
that you see, they all think it's them. So if you ask them, they're going to tell you, "Oh, it's me, of course." So we stay out of that politicalness.
Puppets have feelings too.
Okay. First of all, they're fabricated Americans. Let's get that straight. Not puppets.
There you go. I like that. Fabricated Americans.
Yes.
We're PC these days, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Now, I have to say, you must have some very large shoulders underneath that shirt. I don't know if you guys have ever watched how the puppeteering is done. It's all up above their heads. The sets are like way up high, taller than me even. And you guys are like this for hours at a time, like moving around, like doing these things.
Well, we're
You're
usually
a buff dude, aren't you?
Well, I have a hand in it. So what we usually do is what we like to do is tell our puppeteers that if you have to stand with your hand or take a book and raise it, or go out in the middle of New York City and try to flag down a taxi.
Yeah.
Over here. Well, over here. Sorry. No, it takes a whole different kind of skill, and you can start. And I have to start seeing the puppeteers and characters starting to move this way. I'm like, yep, get it up there. And you'll start seeing their arms do this. Nope.
What's the most difficult puppet to operate, or fabricated American, as you want?
Yes. What's the
They
most-
all have their different thing. I mean, when you're inside a character and you're, like Stuffy, who's very big, or one of the Jurassic All-Star characters, and you're running through a crowd and doing a live show, there is no time to rest. See, television, you can take breaks and go, okay, the scene's over. Or when you're on set with Audrey 2 on a stage show, there is no time because it's live. So that's probably where you get, once you do I always tell puppeteers, you can do live. You'll be able to work in TV. TV is a different thing, but if you have enough live interaction with people, and we have a puppeteer here in the crowd, that he gets a chance to always work above his head, that will strengthen him to be able to do stuff. So we always sent our puppeteers to the live events to puppeteer them, because if they can handle a live one and you have no choice, okay, cut, we're going to do the next scene. Live shows, 30-40 minutes of live shows, there's no getting out of that.
No, I've seen this guy at 2 cons now working, and he comes out of these costumes just nasty. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because once you're in those elements, whether it's
yeah.
inside or outside, we would perform characters live on stage. It could be 100 out. It doesn't matter. You're there. That's it.
Oh,
There you go.
well, it was your own costume though, right? Because I know those things can get funky. Oh, nice, man.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think in Disney, any of the performers are only allowed to be in it for a certain amount of time. Me, I'm not as forgiving. You're out there for an hour and a half. I don't care.
Talk about Buttercup.
Any more questions there, Jeffy?
No, I know everything about this guy.
Everything?
Yeah, you sit at a bar with him, all you hear is stories and stories and stories and stories and stories, and your history is just phenomenal. It is. It's phenomenal. The people that you've worked with, the things that you've done. I mean, why you chose to work with us, I'm still trying to figure out.
Well, we'll talk about that over a whiskey. Just kidding.
You have your thing.
Who's? Oh, I have that, but I have one more questions. I can go to my thing if you'd like. But,
Okay.
The next question is actually it's not written down, so I'm gonna have to go through my head. Audrey, you've had so many different people eaten by Audrey. Who's been your favorite? Like, because I've seen
Who's your favorite
the
person
dude
to
from
eat?
R2D2 down there. I can't remember his name. He's been eaten by Audrey.
R2D2.
Are
Are you talking about Felix?
Felix.
Silla?
Yeah.
Oh well, Felix was
I'm
very
sorry.
fun.
Names are
Felix
for me.
Silla played Cousin It in the original TV series. He was dear friend.
Ewok in Star Wars.
He
too,
was an
wasn't he?
Ewok in Star Wars. He was Howard the Duck. He was Tweaky on Buck, the little robot, and Count. He was in the first Star Trek, The Cage. He was one of the three. So he has a huge career for a small guy. He's not with us anymore, unfortunately, but we even have. So when I first met him, I was doing a little shop. We had to take a picture inside, but I happened to be in the plant when they put him in the plant. Normally, I'm not. And he got in there, climbed in, and then the plant went up where it's not positioned here, and I bounced him around. And it was like a ride for him. And he was in there. He's like, "You can let me out anytime now, please." So it was a lot of fun with Felix. And then you'd see him go by the plant. He says, taps the plant, going, "That's fine, not again." No. We've had lots of celebrities climb in because they're all curious as well as the fans are. And that's one of the reasons when she's not on stage, they get a chance to get part of something. They got to grow up and actually take photos in her, and that's fun to see. And we can't take her out of a show either because everybody gets mad. Where's Audrey?
All right, it's time for the Mary F. Kill. Have you done a Mary F. Kill before, Bill?
No.
Do you know what a Mary F. Kill is?
No, I'm
I'm
afraid
going to
to
give
ask.
you 3 options. You get to choose through those options who to marry, who to kill, and who to have relations with. It's a bit comical, and we're doing the horror series, and because you're a puppeteer or a fabricated American performer, we have 3 of those.
Okay.
Annabelle from Annabelle the movies, the creepy little doll. Audrey too, because she is female, and Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy is one of my favorites. I'm sorry.
Well, I've kind of have to go with Audrey too because we've kind of I've been well planted with. Well, I've been well planted with her.
Are you
going
to
to
marry her?
No, probably
relations or
we have a
kill?
relationship together.
Relations. Okay.
She doesn't get a chance to
I have
move
a
or
green
talk
thumb
without.
myself.
There you. Oh, good. Yeah, okay. Stay with your day job. But it would probably be Audrey. I'll let Kermit deal with Piggy.
But you have to choose who to kill and who to marry now.
Oh well, Annabelle will kill.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That means you're marrying Piggy.
Oh yeah.
That's what's left.
Hope you got deep pockets there.
Well,
Deep pockets.
as you know, that if
She's a high class
Piggy
pig.
and Kermit ever had children, do you know what they would be?
Go ahead.
Do you?
Nope.
They would be figs.
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 Frog pigs. Man, beer pig.
Just
And ladies
Okay,
and gentlemen,
move on.
Tidewater Horror Convention. That was Bill Diamond. Please go check him out downstairs. Get autographs. Get the pictures signed. Buy one of the puppets. What's his name's on sale?
no, we have Ziffits on sale. They
Ziffits.
can get their own Ziffit.
Oh, I thought the dragon one was on sale too. No. Oh, you can't buy. Okay, never
No, you
mind.
can't.
I lied.
No, the show
but-
runs till 5
Gorgo.
o'clock today. So come on down.
Yeah,
There's
come on
plenty of
down.
parking.
Free parking. Tickets still at the door.
Come get eaten by Audrey.
Ray Liotta pictures are free. That's it.
That's it.
We're
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thank you.
Clap.
Clap.
And you've earned your money, folks.